The SimSpray Go is very portable. It's on wheels, travel with anywhere with it. The way you set it up is you put it on your table, open up the lid, open up your laptop, put in the power cord, turn on the laptop, wait for it to tell you to put the head mount on, turn that on, and you are ready to go. This is the SimSpray Go. It's a virtual reality training system for spray painting and also for powder coating. The idea of this is we reduce the material costs, we accelerate the learning, and we do it in a small, nice, easy, portable package. Makes it easy for students to get motivated and learn quickly, and also reduces instructor burden. We're going to be going through the system today and highlighting some of the main key features in the setup. In the mode selection, we can choose between 3 different modes. Tutorial teaches us how to do proper technique and also how to use the UI, the user interface. In curriculum mode, what we do is we can have students go through a progression from simpler to more complex projects, and it keeps a target score as well as their best score. The idea here is that people get a lot more practice time and can make a lot more mistakes up front instead of doing this on the production line or with more expensive equipment. In free painting, we can choose from a large variety of parts. There are tons of different types of industry parts, from aerospace all the way through architecture, all the way through auto body. And if you want a custom part, that could also be developed as a separate item. We're going to be selecting today from the auto body side, and we'll be doing a car door. After that, we can select the process that we want to do. You can choose among HVLP, airless, or air-assisted airless. One of these comes with a system. If you want the other ones, you can also purchase that as an option. Then we can select from a variety of different types of paints, which have default properties about the aesthetic of the paint and also how people are going to be scored. And then lastly, we can look at the environments, which are cool backgrounds. They're safe areas where people can work, but also a way to get people used to the different types of environments where they may actually be doing their painting. Lastly, we're going to check our equipment settings, make sure that these are the settings that we want, and then go in. Main items here are make sure our tip size is the one we want to use, our cup configuration is what we want to use. If we also want to adjust the air pressure, we can do that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set up the motion tracking by taking the gun, putting this on the floor, proceeding. And what this will do is figure out where the virtual floor height should be in relation to where you have put the Go. Once we've done that, it's very simple. Take the gun, put on the headset, and we are ready to paint. We have our virtual part, we have our gun that's being motion tracked, and now we can paint this part. What's also cool about this is if we make mistakes, then this will be shown immediately. If we put too much material down, we see drips. If we're too far away, we see our orange peel. It makes it much more visually obvious when we're doing things correctly and incorrectly. And then what we want to do is we want to review how well we've done. We're inspecting the paint. Super easy to see where we've painted, where we haven't painted, where we have some defects. And then we can go over to our coverage map, which shows the thickness and thinness at any location. Green is a good mill build, red is too heavy, blue is too light. The area where I had my drips was too heavy, for example. With our defects, we can also see those. These are highlighted in the defect mode. We have our dry spray from being too far away or being off angle, our orange peel from being too far away, and then lastly, our drips as a result of too much paint buildup. Once we're done visually inspecting, we can also look at our scores. We judge on a few different things, our coverage as well as our technique. And so our coverage is a combination of our wet film thickness, meaning how close we are to the target scores of our mill target, and any deductions as a result of defects. We blend that with our technique scores for angle, distance, and speed. We want to have a nice perpendicular angle, be at a proper distance the whole time, and have a nice consistent speed instead of going too fast or too slow. The last piece that we can look at in terms of our immediate feedback is our analysis. This will show us a replay of what we've just done, makes it much more visually obvious, especially for beginners, where their body and their gun were in relation to the piece. And this way they can see when they're too close or they're too far away from the part. And to make it nice and easy, what we will do is retry this, try to get a higher score. To do this, we'll try to get more coverage on there and also try to improve some of the scores for our technique. We can do that pretty instantly by using this coat remove all or remove one, which will strip off the coat. Instead of any blasting or anything else, we have a nice immediate piece and we haven't wasted any time. We get immediate more practice. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to put on a visual cue. This is going to be for our distance. The distance cue I can see inside of the helmet makes it super easy for me to, in real time, adjust how far away I am. We also have those for angle and speed as well. If I'm too far away, the arrow will be on the bottom. As I get closer and closer, that arrow will disappear. And then if I'm too close, that arrow will appear on top. Whenever we are in the red areas, we're going to get 0 points. We can also paint here in the mill build view, which really lets us hone in on our technique and see how our technique affects the amount of paint. This also lets us see how well our overlap's going. And it will be affected by the distance, angle, and speed. If we go faster or we go slower, that will be really showing on here as a result. Once we're done, we can then either view the score here inside of the helmet, see how well we've done, or we can go back to the screen and check out how well we've done. I've gotten a lot higher score, and this is a result of using visual cues and being able to see that mill build going on directly. And the idea of this is, as people progress more and more, they can use the cues less often and get higher scores as a result of building up muscle memory. This tool is great for instructors because it really lets their students cut loose, go in, do everything themselves, and then the instructor can come back on their own time and really see how their students are doing.
I can come in here, I can check on it, okay, you know what you're doing, give them the one over. This is your goal, this is what you have to get through.
You'll have access to an admin portion of the software where you can set up custom curriculum, including custom courses and lessons, where you can set a certain part that you want painted, a certain paint that you want to use, any score thresholds that you want your students to meet. When your students complete these lessons, the scores will be uploaded to a performance portal website where you can track scores across a whole class or between certain students. You can tell exactly what they're struggling with and get them the instruction that they need.
Because not everyone's on the same level. They can focus on that here before they get out there and make a mess.
You'll also have access to a custom paint editor where you can set the target mill build for your custom paints. You can set the viscosity, the dry time, and a number of other things. You'll also have access to a thing we call the paintometer, which tracks the costs, the paint that you've used, the parts that you've painted, and the time in booth to give you a real-time return on investment calculator.
What we actually need to get them proficient at is the application, and that's where this is superior.